6 o'clock. I'll call this meeting to order. Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Angie Wolf.
I'm here. There we go.
Cindy Biting.
Here.
Mary Beth Shaw.
Here.
James Cartman. Barb Stotts.
Here.
Matt Crowe.
Thank you. I do have proof of posting. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So, second.
Thank you both. Any changes or questions? Hearing none. Mike?
Yes.
Angie? Yes. Mary Beth?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Barb? Yes. Matt?
Yes.
And I'll say yes as well. Do I have a motion to approve the Board of Education meeting minutes for March 14th, 2022?
So moved. Second.
Thank you both. Any changes or questions on anything? Not hearing. Are you guys keeping up?
Yep.
All right. Mike?
Yes.
Angie? Yes. Mary Beth?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
And I'll say yes as well. No public input, so we'll keep moving forward. We do have our favorite PSI person here. If you want to go ahead and give us your update.
Hey everybody,
Thank
Mike Manufacturer with Performance Services, your design builder, project manager, and I'm here to give the regular update, so great to be here. Not much new on the high and middle school renovations front. We did during the spring break have our controls manager back out, and he went through some smaller equipment and did some things with the lighting control system that Bill had requested and a few other things, so we got that taken care of pretty well. So I think there was, just because there was an access to like one thing through the IT closet we couldn't get into, we gotta come back out and look at one minor thing more in relation to that, but that's shaping up pretty good. And then, you know, not too far from now, we're already coordinating with the flooring trade to finish in the high school wing behind the, mitigation. So we started, like I said before, asking him to verify material quantities again, just make sure everything's ship shape. We'll probably set up a meeting in the next month or so, just to be a couple months out from school, letting out kind of be ahead of the curve in terms of coordinating with Bill and Jordan and whoever else on that. So on the elementary school edition, things continue to progress aggressively, which is what we need. A lot of work left to do, but we're putting in a lot of work, so that's a good thing. You know what I mean? So, and hopefully everyone's seeing that still. So, yeah, since we last visited, we are doing metal framing, and we've really started to expand the interior portion of that. We had initially worked on the exterior to get the structure up. And like I said, now we're really kind of expanding on the interior part of that. So on the south side, we started doing the interior walls in there heavily. The roofing, we are on the west side, heading towards the north side. Yes, unfortunately, it was a full week out, rain out last week with all the weather. But we did get them out here Sunday, so that's good. And we still have them paced ahead that they should be okay, and some of the stuff underneath shouldn't run into them as long as we don't just have consecutive weeks of rainouts, and it shouldn't happen, right? So hopefully we'll get
Yeah. A lot.
if we can get three work days a week working. So that's what we're looking at this week, is hopefully 3 or 4 work days, and they'll be going along that north side, and then hopefully in the next 15 working days they kind of get wrapped up. But again, weather dependent with them, because it's hard to kind of control that with the roofing and the way that works. So on the exteriors, have you seen the brick? The brick's been moving along really well. Yeah. And they're able to, they're affected by weather too as well, but not as much. They can do some rain days, they can still work and things if it's not as heavy rain. And then for a while we had the winterized bubbles, so that helped them as well. So they're over on the northeast corner and the east side, and probably in the next, either this week, I would just say probably the end of next week to be safe. Hopefully they're basically wrapped up with brick, less, detailing and things like that. So it may be sooner. Just a little bit dependent on the weather as well. So that's really in good shape. And then we are starting the metal paneling up on the upper levels, that green metal paneling. So we're starting that this week. We're going to start Wednesday in the mezzanine area, kind of do that for a couple weeks, and then shift over to the library part, do that for a couple weeks, and finish at that main entrance canopy where we have the green, but we also have the wood, that wood look one too. So that's kind of where they're headed. And then, like I said, also developed on the inside, we are doing the spray fireproofing, and they're kind of in the southwest corner now, and starting in what we deem segment 3, kind of going on the west side, going north with the spray fireproofing. They kind of got our whole segment 2 area, which is kind of the south of the gym, southeast corner, starting in near those bathrooms in the southeast corner of the gym, working your way around. They kind of completed that whole area, including the tall areas where the art and the music is. And now they're in the southwest corner. And then the MEP trays are starting one by one, kind of right behind him, and the framing, doing the ductwork, electrical rough-in, plumbing rough-in. Like, they're pretty wrapped up in that first set of big bathrooms, and now they're kind of doing all the classrooms going around the south side, and they've already got good progress on the second set of bathrooms with plumbing. And the fire suppression, they move a little faster than typically than the other trades, so they'll be a little bit more in and out, but they've got the gym done now. They put a pressure test on it today, and now they're into that segment 2, kind of behind everybody else, just working away. But they'll catch up to them pretty quick, and then they'll probably have to go away a bit, go back and forth. But a lot of good progress now starting to happen on the inside. Is kind of the summary of that, if that makes sense, working their way around. So we got some pictures here, obviously, and this is the west elevation. Last time we had a picture, it was all covered in a bubble tent because they kind of gotten that first area done, but we're wrapping up that, the whole other side of that, and then all the way down with brick there, and we got that clean now, all cleaned up, the west and south sides. The north elevation, if you remember, I don't know, I think it was just gray, but now I've got all the brick done basically, except for that northeast corner. I took 2 pictures so you could see, so you didn't think I was hiding something, but that's like, hey, everything's done now. There's the other side we're basically at right now, wrapping up, going around the east side. They did get the whole courtyard area done. I didn't take a picture of that because I missed that, but they got the whole courtyard area done with brick. And then they're all heavily on the east side right now, which is where they're doing the brick and for the next week or plus or minus. And then we'll come in with that metal paneling later, like I said. And then on the inside, you can start to see the walls going up. This is that pre-K classroom shot we had last time, where I think we just finished the spray fireproofing. And you can see the ductwork, the main ductwork up there for the classroom. And then in the gyms, the ductwork's all done, the lights were going up, most of the electrical rough-in's done. Now all the lights are up, the fire suppression's up there, and we're kind of getting it ready for paint in the next week and a half, like the detailed stuff. This is another shot from the inside of the classrooms on the south side, which I think are the 5th grade classrooms. And you can see they were progressing with framing, coming along the south side, and the ductwork up. We can see the roof drains is that white plastic pipe, the overflow drains. Just a lot of the roughing going in. And these are pictures again from last Wednesday, I think. So a lot has progressed even since then. If you go in there and look at all the roughing done. And then this is where we were spray fireproofing at the time, and now that's all spray fireproofed, and that guy's down over to the southwest, just to the left in that picture. He's down in that area, and kind of working on the west side. And tomorrow, no worries. And then tomorrow, the duct's coming in for that high area, and they should be starting to put that in the ductwork, the mechanical ductwork for the art and music groups. So you'll start seeing that, like a lot of the framing and the rough and stuff start happening all kind of in that area next. Because we kind of went around the outside of that a bit, and now we're kind of going in there. And then we'll go to the west and just follow the spray fireproof for west, north, all the way around the building.
Yes, so, sorry, go ahead, Cindy.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it almost looks on this last picture, it almost looks like there's another level, but it's that crawl space, I'm guessing. But it's kind of cute how it's like, it almost looks like 2 levels.
Well, the second one is the mechanical room.
Yeah, it's just cute how it's, visually how it looks right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah,
just.
I guess, yeah, it'll just be a tall classroom.
Yeah.
Did the windows show up when they were supposed to?
No, actually, they pushed them off 3 days.
Aw.
Yeah, but we got them all, well, they said they got the bulk of them on Thursday. I didn't follow up if he got every single one, but he was going through them when I called on Thursday, and I was unloading the whole truck load, and they're supposed to be in this semi they just dropped off today. So today they went around and put in all the bottom receivers. They're gonna put in all the receivers around the whole thing.
Yep.
And then throw the windows in, and he's got a pretty ambitious plan. I don't even want to say it to you guys, but because I don't want to be stuck to it, but he's got a
We'll take
pretty
your word on
ambitious
it.
plan on getting it done. So I think you'll see some windows, like next week you'll see, hopefully, a good amount of windows going up.
Yeah, so if you walk out, if you go down here to the end of the middle school hall and pop out that corner door into where like the 5th grade classrooms are in that corner, I mean that, in terms of the interior, the most visually striking area because most of the walls are framed now, you know, the ductwork and a lot of the electrical stuff and some of the plumbing piping and like all of that, to walk down that hallway in that 5th grade, then transitioning into 4th grade, that's striking. That's like, oh, now I see where there's classrooms. And then early childhood and 4K by the courtyard area is very similar. So we had a meeting today, just a little walkthrough to look at some of the initial electrical rough-in with EC and with Mike and with Bill and I. And just, yeah, the coordination of all of this, but then being able to like see it, and it's happening on the inside. So if you're interested and you have time at some point,
Can we do it after the meeting?
I was just thinking that, but
Because
I don't
it's
know.
an early meeting and it's still
Yeah.
light out.
we can, if Mike's okay with us walking down there.
Yeah. You guys want me
Safe
to
crowd.
give you a tour?
Yeah.
Let's
I mean,
we can
this
take a
shouldn't
quick,
take us long.
this will only take
Yeah,
a couple
this-
minutes after we're through this. So yeah, no, I think just at least to check out that corner of the building because I hadn't been in there for only like 2 or 3 days because at this point I try to almost go out there every day. But I had like a 2 or 3 day break and I walked out and I was like, where did this come from? Like,
Mhm.
it happened quick. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be exciting for you guys if you haven't seen it for a while to take a peek in that corner because it's becoming real.
Yeah, we'll cruise through the rest if you're willing
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah,
stick around for a few
that's
minutes,
fine.
that'd be great.
Any questions for Mike before we, coordination though, as always, the Thursday meetings keep getting more and more exciting. Mike's doing a great job of, like an air traffic controller, keeping people from crashing and making sure that they show up on time and then they're doing what they say they're gonna do when they're gonna do it, so appreciate all of his advocacy on behalf of the district and what he's trying to do to keep us on time, because there's a lot going on, so thanks, Mike.
Thanks, I appreciate it. And a lot of our subcontractors are doing a really great job. They're taking advantage of the spaces, so I appreciate them doing that. I mean, I know it's not gonna be like that the whole way with every trade, but a lot of our main guys are getting into spaces before they're supposed to, and like taking advantage of it and getting things done. It will only help us even, you know, maybe we have to go back and do some detailing in some areas, at least they've got the bulk of the work done and things like that. We're kind of like getting ahead of the games in places and spaces, so.
Yeah, that's nice. That's great.
Good.
Thanks, Mike.
Cool. All right, well, we'll get finished here then. Right on through. All right, do I have a motion to approve a donation to the Tech Ed Department from Wood Buildings for $3,989.63?
I'll make,
Second.
So thank you to Wick, appreciate it, it's great always.
is it your vote for anything in particular?
It is. Ms. Dostal, why don't you speak to that?
It is pneumatic nailers, and ladders for kids to be able to have experience with the industry standard tools. Okay, so, yeah.
That's
It'll be
awesome.
loud down in the shop.
Yeah.
So yeah, appreciate that. Contacted, collaborated with our new tech ed instructor, and he and Liz kind of put together like, here's some items to help elevate what we're trying to do with construction, and what came through for us, so thank you.
Yeah. All right, Mike,
Yes.
Angie,
Yes.
Mary Beth,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Barb,
I'll abstain.
Matt,
Yes.
and I'll say yes. All right, for personnel, I would combine 6162 if I have a motion to approve both the retirement of Barb Beckman and the hire of Jada Wood.
I will make a motion to combine 6-1 and 6-2.
Second.
Great. Thank you to Barb
Yep.
for, how long was she with us? That's okay. No, that's okay. Thank you for your service, certainly. And thanks to Jada for stepping in. All right. Mike,
Yes.
Angie,
Yes.
Mary Beth,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Barb,
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
I'll say yes as well. Moving on to finance then. I don't know if you want to say anything before we put out to motion?
Yeah, just real quick, try to provide a little bit of an explanation and some more background information, kind of regarding what the intent or what the purpose would be here. But really the biggest thing is to help kind of streamline our communication and allow us to not only update our webpage more easily, but then also to selectively be able to push things out to not only the webpage, but our social media channels. The other thing that Bev and I learned this spring, we were doing some, or winter, I guess, it's kind of spring now, we were doing some research into our webpage, is that the development that we had paid for 5 years ago was kind of a one-time development fee. There was no ongoing updating happening of the webpage unless we were doing it internally, which obviously when you don't necessarily have staff that are solely dedicated to updating a webpage and to doing that formatting and that type of work, that becomes pretty laborious. And that was work that Bev was trying to figure out in addition to all of the other things that she does for the district. So the ability to have an updated webpage, we needed to update the webpage anyways because of the transition to a different school setup. So I mean, the page was going to have to go through a major redesign to begin with. So this really is acknowledging the fact that the page needed to be updated, trying to make it a bit more user-friendly. And then the other piece that's neat that comes with this is having an app for the district as well. So it will be accessible on mobile phones, which is how most people are now accessing the internet, is on a mobile phone. So for us to have an app for the district, once this is said and done, I think will be another enhancement in a way for us to communicate more clearly and effectively to our families and our students. So I think for us, with the capacity that we have internally, this just helps kind of maximize that capacity and for us to communicate as clearly as possible.
When do you figure that'll all go into effect?
Soon. So I have a contract saved and ready to sign, and we would look to try to have this launched and ready this summer.
Which would be good, just right in time for, the school's all to close and be prepped for the fall.
Kind of the transition, this would be kind of a fresh face and a redesign.
That's right. Cool. Does anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I'll move for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Good job, Barb. Jumped in there. Does anyone have any questions? I think this is a great thing that they're going to be able to do and get us looking fresh. So,
I just wanted to add there that Jordan mentioned in his briefing that there is a not to exceed amount in there as well, so.
Correct.
Are there any questions about cost? That's not to exceed. So.
Yeah, no, and I think we should be able to come in under that. We just wanted to go the highest it possibly could be, but no, based on the timing of all of this and some of the incentives that they provided for signing the contract before the end of the month, we should be able to come in a couple $1,000s lower than that, but that was the initial price, so we could put that on there as a not to exceed.
I think having like a true collaboration is a nice thing, especially in taking feedback eventually from parents, your staff, and having somebody that's willing to work with us and not having it just be this one-time thing and then it ends and then you kind of know what needs to change if you don't want to go, it's just a true partnership that can progress and it's a nice change of pace, I'd say.
Yep.
cool. All right, Mike?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
I will say yes as well. Future meeting dates, please remember next April 11th, our next meeting, we will meet at 4 o'clock with the staff, with the teachers, and then at 5 o'clock will be our meeting. So then that's next time. So otherwise, everything else is set. Otherwise, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Mike? Mike?
Yes.
Angie?
Yes.
Mary Beth?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Matt?
Second. Very good.
And also, yes, I think it's time to go. Thank you, guys.
Scott?